just think that I want to change the culture. I want to change the mentality, and be able to play with an edge, play with confidence. And I really haven't had a chance to watch our current guys. I saw the bowl game as a fan, just watching games, but I really don't know a lot about the guys we have here. But I just know that in order to play great defense, I've been really blessed to be at places that have done that and been a part of that. And to me, when you want to improve an area, that's where you start, and that's going to be our foundational components. And from day one, once I get a chance, once we get through recruiting here and get a chance to be with our guys and start meeting with them, that's what we're going to start building.
Coach, I'm Andy Graham from the Bloomington Herald-Times. I know you've had opportunities to coach at extremely, high-profile program. What really attracted you? Having met Kevin and talked to him a bit, what really brought you here?
When he first contacted me, the opportunity, the thing that jumped out at me was the chance to come home. That was a big deal, And my dad was my high school coach, and being from Newcastle, and the ties that Newcastle has to this university are pretty strong, mostly with basketball, but obviously just a great connection there, and then the chance to be in this conference. I've been in being in the SEC, being a part of that was special, but the chance to be a coordinator in this league is a big deal to me, and was something that I was very, very intrigued by. And then also just being able to see what he's done here, the progression, the willingness of administration to allow him to build it the right way, give him the time and the resources to do so, I thought was critical. So those are probably the top three things that stuck out to me for my interest.
I assume there was a personality connection as well.
Yeah, he takes over the room, and I didn't know him. I knew of him, knew him professionally, but didn't know him personally. And just from our first conversation, just his energy and excitement. Obviously, that's what he wanted me to bring. And that's how I coach. The passion that I have, and every place I've been ever since I've started this, 24 years ago. That's just kind of who I am as a person, and that's the leadership I'm going to bring here to the defensive side of football. And so, I saw it on his side. Obviously, he's done that with the team and with the offense, and want to be able to match that defensively.
Hey, Coach, Mike Miller with the Bloomington Herald-Times. I know you said you're still getting familiarized with everyone, all the personnel here. How might that 4-2-5 kind of fit in with some of the guys that might be here? Have you taken time to kind of assess how that?
Yeah, a little bit. We in recruiting, obviously, primarily, but the guys they were on, I feel like just evaluating the film, they fit. It's really not going to be dramatically different. We're going to base out of a 4-down rather than a 3-down. And that's probably the biggest difference. But watching them a little bit, when I saw them play a couple times, they were in 4-down quite a bit as well. So there's going to be, when you get in certain situations, a lot of people kind of end up looking like a 4-2-5, whether they call it that or not. That's pretty much what you do. And so the game has become such a spread game, even in the SEC. You had your typical LSU, Alabama, and Arkansas that might honk it at you downhill, but everybody else was spread. And it's kind of the same way here. You're going to have your 2 or 3 teams that's what they're going to do, and then everybody else is a spread mentality, and spread has different definitions. But I just think that the bottom line is we have the guys on this roster that we've looked at, that from a safety position, and just to be able to fill those spots. The guys are recruiting. You just want to be able to get athletes in space. And that's what the game has become. And we got to be able to get guys that can run and hit and finish, and that's what we're going to emphasize, in both in recruiting and in getting the guys in the right spots for the current roster. We're going to adapt. We're going to be able to take the guys we have here and play to their strengths, and that's obviously what I have to do. Once we get recruiting squared away, then that'll be my next objective, is to be able to evaluate our guys and then start matching the scheme to fit what we have here, make it work.
Coach Stu Jackson with allfeatures.com. You were extremely successful with turning around Ole Miss defense from one of the worst in the SEC to the top ranked. Just what was kind of the key to turning that defense around, and what can you take from that experience to apply to this program?
I think a lot what I said in the beginning. We had to change the mentality. We had to change the culture. We had to change the way they prepare. And I think that's the biggest key, is how you prepare. And I'm not basing off anything other than that. So I'm going to approach the way I always have, and we're going to assume that those are things that we need to adjust, and we're going to do that. And I feel like that's the way we've had success. And it's not it's been several places. The place I just went to, South Florida, had some challenges the year before. We were able to turn that around. We went to Arkansas State as a defensive staff, and same thing. And so went to Lambuth University before that, same thing. And so for me, it was changing the way you prepare. When you when you don't really know how, not saying that they don't, but I know from my perspective, from my standards, my expectations, the way that we're going to prepare is going to create confidence. And once that confidence is created, it's going to create an expectation. And once that expectation is created, it's going to create a different performance. But it's a progression, and it all begins with preparation. And so that's where we're going to start, to get a different mentality of how you prepare to play the game, both on the field and off the field. And so that's how I'm going to attack it. And I feel like we kind of have a formula for that we've used and that I believe in, and it's woven into my personality and the way that I'm going to connect with these guys and get to know them. And that's step number one for me is I want to get to know these guys, and I don't right now, and I will, and that's going to take time. And it takes energy, it takes effort, it takes a sacrifice of my time to get to know them and invest in their lives and get to know them as a person. And because when they know that you truly care of them as a person, way more than you care of them as a player, it changes the way they perform. And so to me, that's the foundational base of my coaching philosophy. I believe coaching from the heart to the heart, and that's a powerful part of what I believe in. And that's not going to be different here.
Coach Sammy Jacobs from Hoosier Huddle. You coach down from the sideline. Does that give you a chance to get to know these players a little bit better, both as a person and a player? And
I think so. I do call it from the sideline. I was up in the box one time. The head coach asked me to go up there, and I was like a caged tiger in the box. That's not my personality. I'm very active on the sideline, and I felt like I lost the emotional connection to the game when I was in the box. That's just me. And so you got to have good sets of eyes up there, which we will, for me to do that. But that's where I'm going to be, and I want to be connected with our guys. I think that's one of my strengths for sure. And so I feel like I have that. And obviously over time you get used to it. You can see what you need to see from the sideline. And a lot of guys call it from down there too. But I know for me it's just that I want to stay connected with my guys, and I want to be able to communicate with them face to face. But more than anything, it's just it's the emotional part of the game. It's an emotional game, and it's an intense game. It's a tough game. You got to have those qualities to be a great defense. And so that's my personality as well. We're going to be tough. We're going to be physical. We're going to play really, really hard. And that's the qualities we have to be great. And so I believe that players take on your personality as a coach. And so that's my expectation for our guys, and that's what's going to happen here.
Coach Matt Weaver from Pigs.com. It looked like last year at South Florida, you weren't really any specific position. You were more of the overseer, the coordinator. Is that kind of what playing is up here?
Yeah, we don't know for sure, but that could be. I think that you get good guys that you believe in, and you just let them coach. I like to, especially when you're coming in and bringing a new system that I'm going to be teaching our guys as well. And so how that kind of plays out, I'm not completely sure, but I do know that I'll be involved with obviously all three levels. Coach the secondary, coach the linebackers, work the D-line. So bottom line is I got to be able to coach them all as the coordinator. But we got some really great coaches here that we're going to create the ownership for them to be able to take their area and be excellent at it. And so we'll let them coach.
Do you expect to have input on staff changes or staffing, down the line here? Do you expect to bring anybody in?
I think that's up to Coach Wilson, and what he decides to do. But right now, the bottom line is we just take the guys that we have and we get them coached up and get everything the way we want it to be. So that's the plan.
Coach, for the last 25 years, Indiana has struggled defensively. What maybe aspect of your personality gives you the confidence that you can do what so many others have not been able to do?
I believe in what we do. I believe in our system. I believe in the process of being able to maximize the talents that we have. I think that we've gone a lot of places over the last few years, and we weren't necessarily the most talented. I know for sure at Ole Miss, when we got there, they had lost 16 straight SEC games, and it wasn't like we changed the whole team, overnight. And we didn't at any place I've gone in the first year. But I think defensively, the key is connecting with the guys to get them to play with fanatical effort and to buy into you and to what you're teaching. And I think also a big part of it is being the confidence is created with consistency, and consistency in what we teach, consistency how we adjust. I don't think it's a complicated game. I think it's but oftentimes we can make it that way as coaches. So I think you have to really, we've tried over the years to be able to create a system that's sound, that the guys understand, that we can adjust on the fly. The game has become very, very fast. The tempo that's created by offenses. So I think our simplicity has helped us over the years as the offense has changed. It's put less stress on what we do schematically because we try to be simple and let our guys adjust and be able to. But to me, it's about getting guys to play to the maximum level of their effort that they have. Because defense, you got to get hats to the ball. You got to fly around, and you know, I'm not going to dwell on the past. I see. I'm a positive guy. I believe that in the process that we've done in the past to make change, and I believe it's going to happen here. And so and I'll tell our guys that the speed with which that happens is up to them. You know, their buy-in will create the turnaround, and so I'm excited for that to occur, and I'll share that with those guys as well. And I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to meet these guys. I've talked to them just for a few minutes, but don't really know them yet. And you know, I'm anxious to pour my heart into their lives, and that's what I intend to do.
What's it been like, jumping in and recruiting, you know, in the latter stages of it? How have you been received? How have you found Indiana to be received in living room?
You know, it's the timing of it all is challenging. You know, I mean, I look at my watch and I'm like, that was a week ago. Last week, that was obviously I got here. You know, so I haven't been here very long. You got new guys you're trying to memorize their names and parents' names and who's involved in the process. So that part's challenging, but I've sensed there's real excitement. You know, I think that there's a connection with what we did at Ole Miss. I mean, immediately with recruits, they know I was a part of that. A lot of them, I went home yesterday, and the mom already knew everything about me, and she had researched me, and with obviously the social media, you can find out a lot about people, you know, pretty quickly, and she knew everything about me, and so I was impressed by that. But she knew where I'd been and the turnarounds we've been able to create at those places. So, you know, I've been blessed. You know, the good Lord's allowed me to be able to go a lot of places, and I share that with the families, and I'm just very transparent and very real, and been really, really fortunate. But I think that it's been received very positively. You know, I think there's an excitement about the direction of the program and coming off a bowl game and obviously having a chance in that game to be able to finish it out at the end. And so the bottom line is, for me, we're excited to be here. My family's excited to be here, and I think that there's an excitement from the recruits to be able to put in a new system to allow us to be great on defense, and that's what we're excited to do.
Given your connections to the state and coaching at Ben Davis, for example, have you recruited the state? Do you feel like you have good connections up here to recruit in state as well?
I do. You know, I've never, even though I went to the South, I've always stayed connected with Indiana. I've always recruited guys from here. Just felt like that, just so many strong connections with coaches. I was able to go through Indianapolis on Tuesday, and it was just awesome to see a lot of great friends that I have, and they're excited to see me. I was excited to see them, and they're fired up that I'm back home. You know, so definitely know a whole bunch of folks here, and I think that helps. You know, recruiting is about relationships. You know, and I think that you know, we can definitely benefit from that. And you know, but I think bigger than that is just the excitement about, you know, the bringing a certain mentality to this program defensively that I'm excited to do. And I've used that word quite a bit, but I'm looking forward to it. I think that we've been fortunate to go a lot of places, but to be able to do it at home is going to make it really, really special.
All right.